This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 10 in the NLT. Because ye have obeyed my command to persevere, I will protect you from the great time of testing that will come upon the whole world to test those who belong to this world. I am coming soon. Hold on to what you have so that no one will take away your crown. All who are victorious will become pillars in the temple of my power, and they will never have to leave it. And I will write on them the name of my God, and they will be citizens in the city of my God, the new Jerusalem that comes down from heaven from my God, and I will also write on them my new name. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, B'Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishop, and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings be multiplied on all you brethren out there teaching his word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, 144,000, and the rest of the elect out there. I'm the brother Dama Agabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right, hey, and that great time of testing is it's on its way, and this devil is moving forward with this new world order, full speed ahead. All right, and he's not slowing down. He's not going to be diverted. He's fully in that green light mode. And while people are caught up in their day-to-day lives, people are worried about paying their bills and being what's the term they use, technically unemployed or whatever the term they're using. People are caught up with all the celebrity drama, the up and coming NFL season, all of the day-to-day bullshit. Hey, this devil is gradually leading everybody into this new world order, which is going to come ultimately with that MOTB, the mark of the beast, the micro chip, and all these different, governments and all of these different countries and states and countries are all on board. They're all moving forward with this agenda, man. And it's going to catch a majority of you American people off guard. We see all these things getting ready to come to pass, man. Hey, the famine of the word is getting ready to come upon us. They're making all of these different, changes to these social media platforms. Now you have to identify yourself. You have to give your IDs, which we know what that's setting the stage for at the end of the day. And ultimately they're moving forward with this whole digital beast system that we've been constantly warning you, Jake, about. And a lot of you are putting that day far off. A lot of you think that's going to happen 5, 6, 10, 15 years from now. No, hey, they're looking to do this shit as soon as possible because Esau knows he has but a short time. All right. And one thing we know for sure is that, they're telling you that these things are going to be, your choice. You're going to, move at your own pace. You don't have to do it. It's not mandatory. But we all know that's eventually going to become bullshit because these devils are going to lead you down one path and one path only. Either you're going to acquiesce and get down with this new world order beast system, or you're just going to be separated and left out from functioning in society, man. And we know the majority of you people who don't have faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, you don't see life past America or this current system that we're in. A lot of you are going to make a choice that's going to be detrimental to your future, man. A lot of you are going to be looking to save your life when this devil ultimately presents you with this ultimatum. Either you're going to either you're going to obey, you're going to submit yourself to what this new system, or you're going to be left out in the cold, man. And we know the majority of these people, man, they don't want to be left out in the cold. A lot of these people don't want to have to go without. A lot of you people have been so dependent and so latched on to this society that this is the only life you know. This is the only thing you trust and believe in, the only thing you have faith in. And when you're presented with the option of being cut off from this system that you love so much, from this, being cut off from the damn devil, Esau, Edom, and ultimately, having a choice that's totally separate from that, a lot of you are going to fail miserably and be deceived and ultimately make the choice to sign your own death ticket. right? And I say all this to say this because I did a lesson on this a couple of weeks ago, but now you can see how it's switched up. It says Mexico mandates Bill Gates biometric digital ID with iris and fingerprint data for the entire population. And we know ultimately this is gradualism leading towards the ultimate plan, which is the MOTB, man. See, because now they're making all of this biometric ID and iris fingerprint data mandatory for you to, to deal with the public and private sector, for you to basically be able to function within society. So what do you think they're going to do when they say, well, we're going to upgrade this now to the MOTB? It's going to be the only option you're going to have, as you people are gradually going to, submit to this new biometric system. Like, what do you think you're going to do when they offer you the MOTB and tell you it's mandatory? Either you're going to have it or else. What do you think the majority of these people are going to do? Like I said, they don't have faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They're not thinking about the kingdom. They're not thinking about the return of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, because what? All of their hope and faith is in this world that they know. And this is why, a lot of them are going to be deceived and duped and, caught up within this snare and this net of this damn devil Esau Edom. And it's going to be the same here in America. They're doing the same shit right now. Look at what they're doing with all these social media platforms and YouTube, how they're cleverly and, sneakily, making it to where, now in order for you to be on these social media platforms, you have to give up more and more of your privacy. You have to ultimately show identification or credit cards or your driver's licenses so that they can know exactly who you are, on these different social media platforms, which is ultimately so they can have more surveillance, so that they can basically monitor what you're doing and what you're posting, and be able to, whenever they need to get at you, man. And this is what all this, basically all this biometric and this beast system is all about, is basically giving these devils complete and total autonomy and control over every aspect of your life, man. You're not going to be able to wiggle around or be on the internet or operate in this world without them knowing exactly who the hell you are, where you're at, and knowing everything about you and what you're doing at all times, man. You see, and this is what they're setting the stage to do. It says, Mexico has officially made biometric digital ID mandatory for all citizens. And it's going to be the same with the MOTB. It's going to be mandatory. At first, they're going to make it seem as if you're going to have the option to opt in. It's not going to be mandatory. Well, if you want to, you can. But we know that when this system is a full go, it's only going to be one way in and one way out, man. And they're not going to leave you any wiggle room. They're not going to give you any more fucking options, man. It's either you're in or you're out. Either you're either you're going to be able to live or we're just going to kill you and separate you. This is what it's all coming down to. And this is why, I started with that Revelation, the 3rd chapter, This is all part of the great testing, man. And the Lord is using this devil Esau Edom and this technology and this system ultimately to test and to prove the whole planet Earth, man. And we're all going to be tested. From the elders and the apostles, from all of you Hebrew Israelites, to you Catholics, to you atheists, to you Baptists, to you so-called apologetics, all of you, all y'alls, all of us are going to be tested pretty soon to see if our faith is truly ironclad and rooted deeply in our faith and trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. When this devil ultimately presents this option, and make it seem as if this is your only way to salvation and life, and to be able to buy or sell or to function or to operate within, this world, man. And this is why we've been telling you, Jakes, to you got to separate yourself from this world, man. Stop getting caught up being so deeply rooted and invested within this society, because ultimately we know it's going to be destroyed. But before it's destroyed, we know these devils are going to let all hell break loose, bring all type of chaos, financial collapse, civil war, race riots, martial law, manufactured famines. They're going to let all type of shit hit the fan before they ultimately present, this artificial form of peace and safety. And if you're not rooted in deeply rooted in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, hey, when all hell comes upon you and you're at rock bottom, and this devil presents this option unto you, at the time it's going to seem like it's the only option and the only choice that you really have, man. And a lot of people are going to get weak. Their faith is going to crumble, and they're going to ultimately be deceived and enter into this digital beast system, which is the trap and snare for your soul, in which ultimately you're going to be destroyed in the presence of Yahweh Shai and the holy angels, man. Start at the top. It says Mexico has officially made biometric digital ID mandatory for all citizens, bringing to life a system long pushed by Bill Gates and the World Economic Forum. And it's ultimately, Bill Gates and the WEF, they're the face of it, but it really goes back to these upper echelon of these elites, man. These are just, lower level pawns of the vision of these elites. You see, but it all goes back to these devils. It says what was once a fringe proposal by global elites is now federal law. You see, let me get that. All right, and this is what this devil is doing, man. Let's get this Isaiah 10. And we've been bringing this out over and over and over again because, we have to keep mentioning it until it's ultimately fulfilled. This is Isaiah 10:1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. You see, and this is exactly what this system that they're creating does. It takes away basically all of your right and your independence and your so-called individual freedoms. That's not going to exist in this system, in this world that these devils are trying to create, man. You're going to be totally subservient, totally dependent, and total slaves to this system, man. To anything that you do or say can ultimately be held against you, especially if it goes against, the orders of these different elites, man. So if they tell you we have a new shot that we want everybody to take, hey, once you're inside of this new beast system, you're not going to have the option to opt out or to have a religious exemption from it. Because whatever they say, go. And if you don't take it, then guess what? Hey, they can turn off your access to functioning in society. They can restrict your travel. They can turn off your CBDCs or your digital currency. You can walk into a store and you can be denied access, and they'll tell you right there on the screen why you're being denied access, because you didn't take the new shot that we required everybody to take for whatever reason, man. Or if you put something on the internet that they deem to be riotous or is hate speech or was mis or disinformation that could mislead other people into bucking up against the system, hey, that can be held against you immediately, man. You see? It says what was once a fringe proposal by global elites is now federal law. Every Mexican is now required to submit their face, fingerprints, and iris data into a centralized digital identity platform, whether they consent or not. And eventually you're going to have to take that implantable micro chip. You see? Whether you consent or not. Because if you don't consent, guess what? You're shut out. You can't function. Your social credit score drop below so low that you won't be able to get a damn shoestring at the store or whatever the consequence might be. You won't be allowed to turn on the tap to get water or to get electricity or to get on the bus or leave, or be able to operate 2 miles outside of your 15-minute city or whatever the punishment might be. It's a complete slave system, man. And they're leading all you people down this shit with unrighteous decrees, and they're going to basically force you into this shit. It says the change signed into law by decree last week transformed the previously optional CURP, Clava Única de Registro de Población, into a compulsory biometric document linked to a centralized digital identity platform. You see? So that's why we always do videos saying all roads eventually lead to the MOTB. You see? Because they're going to, force you people, all of us, into this system, whether you want it or not, whether you voted for it or whether you consented or not, man. It's either it's going to be you're going to get down or just die. All right? It says the new CURP will include a facial photo, fingerprint, and iris data embedded in a QR code and will be required for accessing everything from public services and education to banking and employment. You see? So no ticky, no laundry. You see, if you don't acquiesce to this system, guess what? You're going to be cut off from society. You won't be able to function, man. And pretty soon they're going to tell you, look, and you know what else is going to be included in this package eventually? They're going to force everybody to get neural links. They're going to force you to allow you to merge yourself with technology so that these devils can ultimately know what's going on with you, even on the inside. It's going to come with wearables. It's going to come with micro C-hips. It's going to come with neural links and whatever other futuristic technology that they're going to require you people to submit yourselves to, man. So, you know, and in this case, hey, man, it's better off just going back into the spirit world, man. And for some of us, that's going to be the only option eventually that we're going to have to choose is our faith and trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, or going out as martyrs, man. You know, but ultimately we know we're going to have to ultimately come to a point to where we're going to have to deny this system and opt out completely. Now, for instance, in the meantime, if they're telling us, you know, you got to submit your facial photo, your fingerprint, and your iris data, and the QR code, whatever, that's cool, because that's not ultimately the MOTB. We're not allowing this devil to stick that charagma in us. But we know when it gets to the point to where they start forcing, you know, that MOTB and these different neural links and merging yourself with this with machine, hey, that's when all bets are going to be off, and that's where we're going to have to gladly give this guy the middle finger. You see, and this is what, you know, the battle, the condition of the battle that we're getting ready to have to face, man. You know, and we've been warning Jake and telling him that these days are coming, and now we see him taking form. So pretty soon we're all going to have to have a choice to make. And that's why we got to continuously pray and do what we got to do so that, you know, our faith don't waver, and that we're, you know, fully aware of the ultimate choice we're going to have to make at the end of the day. You're going to have to choose a side, man. All right. And this is 2 Ezra 16:40. It says, "O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth." Right. And what's going to be those evils when they're bringing this hour of temptation? So, hey, some of us are going to have to flee the city. Some of us are going to have to go out and just be out here, because we're not going to, you know, they're going to probably kick us out of our apartments. We're probably going to have to be out on the streets. We're probably going to have to, you know, lay up wherever we can lay up, move, you know, moving around, being here, being there, trying to escape them trying to force this goddamn beast system upon us, man. You might have to be in the woods. You might have to be in the mountains. You might have to, you know, be hiding in different abandoned buildings or whatever the case might be, because, hey, they're going to be hunting down those who have not assimilated themselves into this system. They're going to be sending out drones and sending out the martial law troops to find those who haven't fully submitted. You know, you're going to have even some of your own family members or even citizens who've joined themselves to the beast system. They're probably going to see you and know that you haven't taken, you know, the MOTB or assimilated into the system. And they're probably going to try to chase you down or drop a dime or call the cops on you. You know, so we're going to have to make ourselves ready to this battle, man. It says, "He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose." Because pretty soon, like I said, if you don't have that MOTB, or if you're not fully on board with this system, your ability to buy and sell ain't going to mean shit. So this is why we telling you, Jake, stop trying to invest your time and effort into this society. You're trying to buy land and build houses and do all this, do all that. Well, guess what? Even if you do that shit, you're not going to be able to keep it or have it unless you ultimately bow down to what this devil is building, man. You see? It's all vanity at the end of the day. It's all a waste. You got to understand that this whole society is going to eventually be eviscerated. So why would you even, you know, invest your time and energy into a place that's going to be ultimately destroyed, and a place that, you know, is bringing this type of dystopian, a system in place? You'd be better off just trying to get your daily bread, you know, and do what you got to do in the meantime. Now, of course, if you got a business, I'm not telling you to just, you know, not tend to your business or not make your money. But understand that, look, that's not going to be the end all be all. All right. You're not going to, get the full payoff or whatever end goal you might see for that business come to fruition, man, because we know what this devil is bringing. It says, "He that occupieth merchandise as he that have no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein." Right, because you can build all this shit and have land and property, but once Esau tell you, look, in order for you to even somewhat keep it, you got to take this MOTB, and you take it, you're through. And on top of that, you should already know that part of the West has been telling you that people are going to own nothing and be happy. You're going to be subjugated to these 15-minute cities. So whatever property or merchandise or business or assets that you're acquiring eventually are going to be taken from you any goddamn way. So why the fuck would you be investing and thinking and investing in all of that shit like that, man? It all has an expiration date. That's why, like I said, it's all vanity at the end of the day, because what these devils is planning to do, he's going to take that shit from you any goddamn way. So why bother? Why, invest? Why be here thinking for the long haul, man? You should be focusing on salvation and being delivered and getting the hell out of here and focusing on the kingdom of heaven. You're storing up that treasure in heaven where moth nor rust don't corrupt, or where thieves do not break through and steal, and where Esau is not going to be able to confiscate and take all of your shit. It says, he that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widower. And therefore they that labor in vain. You see? Because this system is going to eventually take all what you have anyway, and you're going to own nothing, and everything that you have in the society will be rented out and borrowed. It'll be given to you on a you're gonna everything that you have is going to be owned by the government, so it's going to be like a loan unto you, man. So why even bother? It says, for strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses and take their children captives. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more I will be angry with them for their sins, saith the Lord. So stop trying to invest and worry about, keeping up with the Joneses here and thinking you're going to have some type of black excellence or some longevity here in Babylon the Great, because you're not. These devils told you you're going to own nothing and you're going to be happy, man. Back here, it says, so read that again. It says, the new CURP will include a facial photo, fingerprints, and iris data embedded in a QR code, and will be required for accessing everything from public services and education to banking and employment. The law mandates integration across both government and private systems by 2026. That's next year. In Mexico, it's going to be mandatory, man. So see, these devils are going full speed ahead. It says, and the rollout will begin with mass biometric data collection, including of children, starting this year. And this further proves that the MOTB is dealing with that it's an actual physical thing, and it's based on an individual basis. It's not dealing with small countries and big countries, little governments and big governments. No, this system is shit. If it's for what makes countries and what makes cities and towns is its citizens, man. Is the people that are within these towns and these counties and these states and these cities, man, that actually make up the population of these places, man. And as you can see, hey, they're coming for every individual person, even children. It says the overhaul reflects the West's blueprint for global digital ID infrastructure. For years, the forum has promoted digital identity systems as an essential tool for those who wish to continue participating in society. Like I said, read Revelation 13 and 16. I'm not going to reread it all the time, but this is exactly what this is talking about. It says, arguing they are necessary for access to financial services, health care, travel, and civil rights. You see, all across the board, man. And this is what these devils are ultimately doing. It says, in WEF documents and panels, digital ID is often framed as a solution to social inclusion. See, that's why, this is why you can't, you use this world and you don't abuse it. This is why we tell you, Jay, you can't be so invested and so caught up in this world, because look at what this world is getting ready to introduce to you, man. Complete and utter slavery, man. It says, but privacy advocates warn that these systems pave the way for unprecedented population surveillance and centralized control. Point blank, period. And the Mexican president, that small hat, she's a goddamn infiltrator. She's a damn mole. She's a damn small hat. Has expressed support for digital transformation in previous internal forum. This is why they put this broad in there, man. Because she's a small hat, falsifying herself as a so-called Mexican. She probably speaks Spanish in the whole nine, man. But her line goes back to the small hats, man. It says she expressed support for digital transformation in previous internal forums, and several officials tied to Mexico's tech and government sectors have connections to WEF initiatives. The Digital Transformation Agency, now overseeing implementation of the CURP overhaul, has adopted similar language and priorities to WEF digital governance programs. Yep. I ain't gonna read no more on that, man. Because the point is made, man. Yeah, civil rights groups warn that the system could be exploited by intelligence agencies, corrupt officials, or even foreign governments, as the law allows for potential data sharing agreements. Of course, because all the systems are all going to be connected, man. All one big system, all one big cloud, one big slavery digital slave system, point blank period, man. And we've been telling you, Jake, that this shit was coming. All right. This is Matthew chapter 16, verse 16 and 24. It says, Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, If any man will come after me, I'm reading in the NLT. Then Yahushua said unto his disciples, If any of you want to be my follower, you must turn from your selfish ways. You see? Ultimately, your selfish ways is thinking that you're going to be in this life and achieve and do what you want to do with your life. I got plans with my life. I'm going to be a ball player. I'm going to be a rapper. I'm going to be an entrepreneur nigga. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But no, if you come to serve Yahweh Shem Yahushai, hey, you got to turn from your own selfish ambitions and whatever goals and plans you thought you might have had for your life. They all get flushed down the crapper, man. And you got to follow Yahweh Shem Yahushai at the end of the day, man. It says you must turn from your selfish ways, take up your cross and follow me. All right. And part of you following Yahweh Shem Yahushai is not to acquiesce to this damn digital beast system and be so conformed and joined to this world, man. You got to be separate. You got to forsake this world and get on the program of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It says, if you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it. How are you going to lose it? Because eventually you're going to take that MOTB. You're going to eventually try to, if you got property and assets and jobs and businesses, you got, so-called ambitions in this life, you're going to eventually choose those over Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And be hit with that micro C hip, or be implanted with one of those neural links, man, or totally submit yourself to this new digital beast system that this devil is getting ready to implement, man. Yep, it says but if you will give up your life for my sake, you will save it. And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul? Because that's what Esau is playing for, your fucking soul, man. That's what this whole merging man with machine and allowing yourself to be put up on the grid and merging yourself with his technology and AI is ultimately you're submitting your soul up to this damn devil Esau Edom and AI and artificial intelligence, man. You're going to allow him ultimately to be your God, man. To know what's going on in the inside, to predict your behavior, to know what you're thinking, to be able to manipulate your emotions, change your DNA, basically hijack you to be his creation, manipulate your DNA, and all type of other crazy, wild shit, man. It says, is anything worth more than your soul? For the Son of Man will come with his angels in the glory of his Father and will judge all people according to their deeds. You see? Hey, and part of that is what? Oh, well, let me get it, man. Let me show you. Part of the judgment of Yahushua. If you ultimately fully submit yourself into this new beast system, man. It says what? Doom for the worshipers of the beast. Revelations 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark, his charagma, in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Meaning you're going to be destroyed before Yahushua. You're probably going to be eviscerated with the fire from the chariots, or the Lord just might preserve you for that nuclear fire, man. Whichever is going to be. It's not going to be good for you, man. And this is the judgment that Yahushua is going to come with for those that are followers and worshipers of this beast system, man. All right. It says, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth of the mark of his name. Point blank, period. And this is what this whole system and this whole situation is ultimately gradually leading to, man. So, hey, with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, for putting the spirit in me through this lesson. Lord willing, you were edified. Shalom.